Can I have a motion to resume public session? Mr. Reinhardt, Ms. Urbanowski, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. We're now back in public session. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any agenda changes?
We did take the foundation off since we did not meet at the beginning of the month.
Thank you. That moves us on to board president's comments. And I don't know about your families, but I feel like for ours, we're starting to settle in a little bit. We're approaching the 5 weeks already, which I personally found crazy. It's hard to believe that much time has happened already. And really looking forward to how my personal children and how all the children of our community continue to evolve and explore the world around them this year. This is our first year not having anyone in elementary school in our family. So that's a big shift. Not as many of the, apple dumpling festivals, but new opportunities all the same. And it's great to see our kids evolve as they grow. One, realizing he enjoys a class outside of his norm. Electricity. Who knew you could have fun doing things outside what you do every other day? And another, exploring new activities, such as Elf Jr. the musical, now that she's a big 6th grader. So it's just exciting to see our kids evolve and explore the world around them. And I wanted to just, again, take a moment to welcome everybody to this upcoming homecoming week and all the events to support our kids, our staff, and our community as we all come together to really celebrate Gates Chile. And I'm excited to see how this goes for everybody. Do we have any points of interest this week? Okay, we're going to have a lot after homecoming next week to share. Can I ask if there have been any meetings in the past few weeks that we have any reports of? I throw my pen at myself. Do we have any visitor comments? No? That moves us on to our report section of the evening. Our first one is from the Finance Department.
Good evening, Superintendent Daly, President Coffey, Vice President Richards, and members of the Board of Education. Thank you for having us tonight for the Business and Finance Report. I'm Sally Sanford, Director of Finance, and Ms. Jessica Latone, our District Treasurer. Under the reorganization and restructuring here at Gates Chile, I am now overseeing the Business and Finance Department. We have some new team members, the newly created position of Budget Analyst, and now shared administrative support between Dr. Ball and myself. I'm very proud to introduce the finance team. I am privileged to lead these individuals every day. They have varying levels of experience, with Daryl Wood, our budget analyst, with 37 days, to Cheryl Alonzo with 37 years of experience as our purchasing agent here at Gates Chile. Buckets of responsibilities under the business and finance team include accounting. We use an accounting system comparable with the other 800 public school districts in New York State. We have accounts receivable and payable under the Business and Finance Department. We operate just like a company. We have bills to collect and bills to pay. Last year, the business office issued more than 6,411 payments to vendors through our accounts payable. This is a huge undertaking and takes significant work on behalf of the business and finance staff. We have auditing, New York State public school districts go through all kinds of different audits, which I'll describe in the next slide. Gage Chi-Li works with an investment data team, 3+1, to help with our banking and investment. And zero-based budgeting, as you're all familiar with, is the method we use here at Gage Chi-Li, meaning that we start from scratch each year. And versus some districts just add a percentage or just roll their budget forward year to year. Contractual agreements are handled in the Business and Finance Department, and we take a close look at the costs as well as reviewing those contracts for any potential duplicity. Forecast and reserve planning here, we do careful forecast and reserve planning to get ahead of any sudden budget shortfalls or emergency expenditures, giving us a proactive approach versus a reactive approach in the revenue and expenditure side of the budget. Under grants management, the business office manages 10 grants totaling $3.3 million. During COVID-19, the business office also had fiscal oversight of the ARP, CARISA, and FEMA funding totaling more than $12 million. Purchasing. The purchasing department issued over 4,000 purchase orders in 24-25 school year. This type of work requires a significant amount of contact with vendors, ensuring the district is maximizing every dollar and tracking the purchases for quantities, quality, and timeliness of the shipments. We have reporting under Business and Finance. This includes final cost reports for capital projects, grants, as well as our state aid reporting, which we work with enrollment, student enrollment, building numbers, and also transportation to maximize the state aid that the district can receive. School taxes, the district works with towns of Gates and Chi-Li to collect tax bills on properties within the Gates Chi-Li boundaries. We also handle any assessment challenge refunds as well as tax certiorari proceedings. Members of the business office are part of the ASBO, or Association of School Business Officials. Across New York State, we work with other business offices to be on the cutting edge of performance. Members of our business office are also executive members of our local chapter. Business and finance highlights. Here we have three types of audits that I'm going to talk about. The internal claims audit process. This is a process where an individual, independent of the business office, handles the approval of each claim submitted for payment. This process is now automated to streamline the process in the current accounting software that we already have. The internal audit this year focused on the technology department. The technology department had a fully compliant review, and the report showed that they were also forward-thinking in their approach to technology integration. The independent audit is on the agenda for approval tonight. This type of audit gives an overview of our cash receipts, our cash disbursements, and any testing of journal entries and the backup for those. Consistent with the last previous fiscal years, we have received another unqualified audit opinion for the 24-25 year. This means that our financial statements are accurate and in accordance with accounting standards. No material issues or exceptions were found. And now, Jessica will talk about banking.
Hello, everyone. In terms of banking and investments, our three things we focus on are efficiency, savings, and earnings. For efficiency, our interest earnings meet or exceed the U.S. Treasury benchmark. The district uses this benchmark as the baseline to compare and evaluate how well the investments are doing. This helps us make the best decision on where cash should be invested. Every dollar of available cash is working for us and being invested at all times. We have moved to a new credit card program that gives us cash back on every possible purchase. We have earned a 100 CashVest score again. CashVest is a metric for assessing your assessment performance. How we achieve a 100 Cash Fest score is by leaving no cash uninvested at any given time, and having a diverse portfolio, meaning we use many different investment tools with Board of Education approved banks. Gates-Chili is one of 2 municipalities in the nation that has achieved a 100 Cash Fest score, making this accomplishment very rare and something to be celebrated. We have invested $17.2 million in a long-term investment protecting the district's cash from sinking to interest rates. For savings, we continue to work with 3+1, who is our investment data partner. They work to assist and provide the banking opportunities for the district, which in turn will maximize our interest earnings. For earnings, we continue to take advantage of long-term investment opportunities to preserve higher interest rates to increase our earnings. And over the past 2 fiscal years, we've earned more than $6.3 million in interest earnings. This is something the Business and Finance Department is very proud of, and why we continue making banking and investing such a large focus.
Okay, accounts payable and purchasing. One of the reasons that we have that 100 Cash Fest score is because we have reduced our paper checks to ACH payments in an 8-to-1, meaning for every payment, we have 8 ACH payments and 1 paper check. Paper checks are take time administratively to print them, to mail them, to clear on your bank reconciliation. These checks are often lost or left uncashed. Paper checks also carry a high risk of fraud. And with cutting over $6,400 or 64 checks a year, we're always looking for ways to increase our efficiencies. So this year, we're going to start paying our officials through a BOCES aidable service called Arbiter to take some of that pressure off our business office. The system already has the officials in there, and other districts use them, so it's easier to just go in, approve their time, and the Arbiter system pays them through direct deposit. Other ways that the business office looks to reduce expenditures is by a process called a request for proposal. This is where we solicit professional service providers for certain services such as waste management, auditors, legal services, architects, and construction managers. The results of the proposals are gathered and reviewed. This allows current vendors to enhance their competitiveness, resulting in a greater value for the district. On to budgeting. Again, we use the zero-based budgeting. Every dollar is assigned a purpose and justified as essential. For 25-26, we're able to provide purchasing supplies for students at the elementary and middle school levels. These types of supplies include highlighters, crayons, folders, notebooks. In the upcoming year, we will be addressing needs again for each student and continuing to create greater consistency across buildings in terms of supplies, materials, program, and staffing, to list a few. And I know you're all happy that I'm finally done. But do you have any questions? No?
You guys did a great job. Thank you.
Well
Okay,
done.
thank you so
Very well
much.
done.
Appreciate that. We really appreciate your continued support here in the Business and Finance. And if there's no questions, then everyone have a great evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Well done.
All right, that moves us on to our long-range planning report.
Good evening, Superintendent Daly, Board President Coffey, Vice President Dr. Richards, and the Board of Education. Thank you for having me. I'm Deputy Superintendent Mitch Ball, and I'm here to talk about planning for the future in Gates-Chili. So as you are well aware, I guess I got to do this, right? There we go. As you're well aware, there is a lot going on here in Gates-Chili. We are deep into the Building Brighter Futures capital project, which has been a huge success for our school community. When Mr. Daly and I met with building administrators a couple of years ago, to begin planning for the Future Ready project, every single principal we met with shared concerns about space. Those conversations have only increased in the last few years as we have added community schools, additional intervention staffing, special education classrooms and staff, and increased mental health-related staffing as well. On top of this, BOCES, due to their own staffing challenges, which we all know are existent in today's environment, has been unable to support our needs relating to special education, requiring us to create more self-contained classrooms and associated staffing positions, which undoubtedly strains our limited space. In addition to that, recent regulatory changes have us thinking more about things like air conditioning spaces, when and if possible, and getting rid of antiquated classroom design. Think of our open classrooms at Neil Armstrong and Walt Disney Elementary Schools. Simultaneously, the research on science on things like sleep for teens has created conversations across the county relating to start times. The recent research on sleep suggests that students who are older should start later. Yet our high school students start at 7:20 a.m. while our elementary students start at 9 a.m., over an hour and a half later, the reverse of what science suggests. But flip-flopping start times is no easy task for many, many, many reasons, and not necessarily something we would ever consider as a school community, but something worth exploring. And this is just one of the many examples of the things that this type of exploration can lead to. And additionally, we have other concerns on the horizon. Housing development. Back in 2022, Mr. Daly and I attended a learning session at the Italian American Community Center about a potential project that would bring up to 450 domiciles of various types to the district via a developer named Whitestone. Since that time, there has been little activity other than the fact that Whitestone Development has come back and requested modifications to the original plan, which would decrease the number of housing units to around 350, still a substantial number. They tentatively anticipate breaking ground in the spring of 2026. Knowing this and not knowing how many young families may be moving into the district, we will want to be thoughtful about preparing for potential new student enrollment. So based on what has been shared on this slide and the last slide, it's honestly wild. All the things that are happening all at once. Having been a part of numerous complex and nuanced projects, I have learned cautious discretion as we begin planning can go a long way. A lot of times we see all this information, all these things happen on paper, on the screen, and in our minds, and you are left wondering, we are left wondering, are we ready for it? Ready for what the next 5 to 10 years will look like? Could we be doing more to prepare? Come on, that's a good slide. With these questions, and given all that is happening and with the goal of ensuring long-lasting financial, programmatic, and organizational stability, we decided to push pause on continued planning. We know we could come up with a plan on our own, but we don't want to just be good. We want to be better at it. Better at assessing needs, better at planning for the future. In order to thoughtfully explore all avenues and options for the future, at the beginning of the year, we put out a request for proposal for a comprehensive long-range planning study. We conducted interviews. From those interviews, we selected a highly regarded team of prior superintendents that has a vast portfolio of experience in doing these types of studies and explorations. Their collective group is called Leadership Solutions Advisors, LLC, and as you'll see in the coming slides, we are giving them the proverbial keys to the city so that they can fully explore our district and help us with long-term sustainable planning using an independent lens. So, what is the overarching purpose? To explore all options. To ensure that long-term we are aligning facilities, staffing, and operations with projected student and community needs given all considerations, and to make sure we are using data to inform decisions given all the complexity involved. So what are some of the things that will be explored? Demographics. These can include things like community growth and housing trends, birth rate patterns and migration data, student population shifts across neighborhoods, enrollment, including historical enrollment trends, current projections of enrollment by grade level, and anticipated changes, potentially short and long term. Grade configuration, which is evaluating our current structures, K-5, 6-8, 9-12. Alternative models and their instructional, social, and financial impacts. Benchmarking and regional state practices. In terms of bell schedules, looking at current start and end times across schools, the impact on instructional time, transportation, and extracurricular activities. Alignment with research on adolescent learning and sleep, as we discussed earlier. In terms of physical space needs, looking at classroom utilization and capacity, special education and program space requirements, flexibility for future instructional models. In terms of school zones, attendance, boundary efficiency and equity, impact on neighborhood school, walk zones and community cohesion, and potential adjustments to balance enrollment and optimize facilities. In terms of transportation schedules and requirements, looking at bus routes and ride times, fleet size, staffing and cost implications, and coordination with bell schedules and school zones. In terms of other areas that may be explored, it could include things like technology infrastructure, safety and security needs, and extracurricular and community use of facilities, to name a few. So really looking broadly at all the work that we do here in the district to provide great programming and services. So in terms of the process, so what's the plan? The nuts and bolts of the plan include the following crucial components. The project leadership team is the cabinet team. That team has already begun looking at logistics and strategy around the approach, acknowledging that there's a lot of moving parts. The community engagement exchange, this is where surveys will go out. It's a type of a survey instrument called Thought Exchange to gauge community and gauge what the community is thinking about in terms of what the district might look like in 5 and 10 years. The advisory group is a cross-functional steering committee that would include a number of different individuals across the district. Generally speaking, the advisory committee is one committee, and they meet throughout the whole process 5 times. I'll talk about that again in a few minutes. Stakeholder work groups, these are individuals. So for instance, there'll be an educational experience stakeholder work group. That group would include people who are directly connected to instruction in the district and educating our students. There'll be an organizational group that looks at things like school nutrition, transportation, facilities, security, technology. There'll be different groups that have expertise in those areas. Individuals within the district, generally speaking, that have expertise will sit on stakeholder work groups. Then there'll be focus groups as well. These would be groups that other individuals may be able to sign up for, community members, parents, guardians, etc., that really want to provide qualitative input on the process. Student voice groups, it's really important to ensure that students' voices are heard in this process. We all know that when you include students, they don't have the same filter that adults have and the same beliefs and perceptions about things. Sometimes through that process, you can get a lot of creative ideas and hear a lot of things that you wouldn't hear in the other forums. And then regular updates, you would expect to see the team update the board on a regular and ongoing basis. So in the fall, aka right now, we are in the kickoff phase. The project leadership team, the cabinet, has been meeting with Leadership Solutions advisors to plan for all the things we just discussed. In addition, the project leadership team has been feeding Leadership Solutions advisors all sorts of documents that will help them know the district deeply. On October 21st and 22nd, Leadership Solutions advisors will be walking buildings with principals and/or assistant principals to put eyes on buildings and hear about the highlights of their programs and services and also the challenges they are facing. In the coming months, there will be community engagement exchanges through Thought Exchange and group meetings to explore the financial, programmatic, and organizational sustainability. Knock on wood, by March of 2026, we will have a solid first pass on both quantitative options as well as our school community's desires relating to how we move forward, either in exactly the same way or planning for potential new directions. So what's your role as a board member? So via the project leadership team, it's to support transparent communication with staff, families, and the community. We're hoping that we'll get 3 to 4 board members to participate in the advisory committee, which is 5 evenings, and then to eventually weigh in on any final recommendations that come through the process. At the end of the day, ideally, we would want to wave a magic wand and have all the information right in hand. This process ensures that we avoid foolish decisions led by misguided visions and allow us to come closer to being able to say, now I can see it all. As a district, we have been moving very quickly to meet the complex and ever-changing needs of our students, staff, and community. This endeavor is a temporary speed bump on the road to ensuring we are abundantly prepared for what lies ahead. In summary, we are doing our best here at GC to always keep it 100. This exploration ensures that we do just that. Any questions? No? No questions? Okay, thank you. Have a great evening.
You as well. All right, that moves us on to our consensus agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Can I have a motion? Mr. Reinhardt? Long I saw you over there. Any discussion? All in favor? Not calling him Mr. Long anymore. The vote is unanimous. Thank you. And I have a motion to approve consensus items C through H. Dr. Richards, Ms. Littlewood, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. That moves us to action items. Can I have a motion to approve the independent audit for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, as presented by EFPR Group, CPAs, PLLC? Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Davis, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. That moves us now to our superintendent comments.
We're very excited to welcome internationally renowned expert Brian Mendler to the GC PAC on Friday, October 10th, to lead our entire staff in a behavior workshop. Brian is a highly sought-after presenter known for his expertise in school discipline, classroom management, and student engagement. His message is grounded in real experience and deep empathy for students who struggle most to meet expectations. This morning, along with many members of our cabinet, I had the chance to be a part of mock interviews for our students in our career and financial management classes. As part of this class, students are learning about landing a job, so today I and several of our leaders throughout the district help them practice their interviewing skills. As a person who's conducted a couple interviews in their career, I can confidently say our students were very impressive and are ready to take on the world. One of them, was just a little older and graduating, I would have hired on the spot today. Just one of the best interviews I've had, regardless of how old. One of the kids just knocked it out of the park. It was really impressive, and all the kids have improved. So the work our teachers are doing with preparing them for this is really paying off. I did not have one kid that really just struggled with it. As nervous as they were, a lot of sweaty palms. But they did phenomenal today. It was really, really impressive. Next week is homecoming. We're excited for the parade and all the festivities. A reminder that our parade starts at 5:30 at Neil Armstrong and ends at our Spartan Stadium. We'll have concessions and food trucks on campus between the parade and games, so come hungry. Then at halftime of our game, we will be inducting 6 members to the Gates Chiley Hall of Fame. Congratulations especially to board member Chief Robert Long. That hasn't changed much. So last week, we had a very successful flu clinic last Thursday. We had many staff members participate. If you missed it, don't worry. You'll all have another chance to get a flu shot at our Fall Family Fest, which is now less than a month away. The event is on Thursday, November 6th from 5 to 7 p.m. in our Spartan Field House. As in years past, it will feature fun games and activities and an opportunity to connect with local resources in our community. Coats from the coat drive will also be distributed that evening. If you're interested in donating a new or gently used coat, donations will be accepted from October 27th to 31st at our 6 schools, district office, transportation center, and operations center, as well as some community locations. And a reminder, the district office parking lot will be closed this weekend to blacktop and stripe. This work is weather permitting, so we'll keep you posted. And lastly, on behalf of the students, staff, administrations, and families of the Gates Charlie Learning Community, I'd like to thank each of our board members for their time, dedication, and passion for education they give to us each day. Please accept this warm hat at your tables as a token of our thanks. Be strong enough to not let your family members take it. This is meant for each of you. So thank you for all you do. Be strong. Keep the hats for yourself. That is my report, Mrs. Coffey.
Thank you so much. On that note, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting. Mr. Long, Mr. Banowski, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.